Hey, welcome to a very special Friday edition of Up to Speed Live. And you may be wondering, why are you outside today? Well, this episode is dedicated to hurricane preparedness, facing the elements. So I thought I'd take a look at Mother Nature, see how things are going outside here in Jersey. But I must say, it is looking a little dicey. I was kind of hoping to stay outside the whole time here, but we'll see. I'm seeing some clouds. I'm maybe hearing some rumblings of thunder here. And I'm actually really not that prepared to be outside. But that said, we do have a fantastic big show today, including it is Friday. We've got a live news rundown recapping a fantastic big week. The week's so big, we needed two hosts for this episode. And with that, our own Raquel Wilson is joining us to co-host this Friday. Happy Friday to you, Raquel.
Happy Friday, Andy. So happy to be back here with you on this Friday. It's looking a little gloomy outside, like you said. I think you might need to come in soon. Did you even bring an umbrella?
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, this may say something about my own preparedness. I mean, this show is, this episode is dedicated to staying prepared. I did not bring an umbrella. I don't want to get too soaked. But I don't know. I was wondering, maybe would you happen to know a meteorologist or anyone that could maybe help us out today?
You're in luck, actually, because we've got Dan Kottlowski, Senior Meteorologist and lead hurricane expert from AccuWeather, joining us today. And to top it off, we've got Alexa Velliquette, who's going to be talking about all the cool tech that will help us with this hurricane season that's approaching.
See, what would we do without you, Raquel? This is why we're tag teaming today. Okay, so here's the deal. I did feel like a little drop come down here, so I'm gonna head inside. But I was wondering, since you're here, it's Friday. Would you mind doing the weekly rundown for us?
Sure. So while Andy comes in, we will take a look at this week and look at the rundown. Let's take a look.
Tuesday, we announced the biggest upgrade ever. We're offering a 5G phone with one of our best unlimited plans for every customer, existing in new, consumers, and small businesses. And on Wednesday, Christy went live with Andy and answered all your work forward questions, including the commonly asked question of when food services will return in the office. Thursday, we heard from excited V-teamers from the 7 new 5G home cities, which will bring us to 40 5G home cities by June 10th. And we also launched Talent GPS, a new tool to help you navigate and develop your career and how we'll attract and retain talent. And we saw a great response. Sounds like everyone is excited for some career empowerment. And now for some exciting new news. Verizon ranked 7th in Fortune's top 20 Fortune 500 companies on diversity and inclusion. This ranking was based on which companies were the best at addressing 14 key metrics, including the percentage of minorities on the board, the percentage of employees that are women, and the percentage of employees with disabilities. In other words, when it comes to diversity and inclusion, we're not just talking the talk, we're walking the walk. And in other good news, Chris Rico from our very own comms team and Jessica Cohen, a manager of state government affairs for Verizon, made a surprise appearance on Cleveland's NBC affiliate WKYC to reveal the Verizon Foundation's $100,000 donation towards support services and programs for an Akron-based AAPI charity, Asian Services in Action. Let's take a look.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
You made a wish and it became true, Eli.
The donation is part of Verizon's larger Citizen Verizon Responsible Business Plan, which centers on digital inclusion, climate protection, and human prosperity, as well as the Verizon Foundation's commitment of $5 million to organizations advancing racial equality for the AAPI community.
All right, that was this week's rundown. I think Andy might have been able to get back. Andy, are you here?
Ooh, I was almost about to get a soaking. I think I don't even know what I was thinking, Raquel. I didn't even have a cover for this. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's good. It's good to be indoors again.
Just went outside.
Like I said, what would I do without you, Raquel? That's really the question here. You always help us stay prepared. And hopefully, as you mentioned, we have some very special guests here. So with that, I am back inside, and I am pleased to introduce our friend Dan Kottlowski from AccuWeather to talk about this year's hurricane season and how we can all stay safe. Dan, welcome. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the meteorological trick you gave me. I did the old finger. And I noticed that something was coming, something was approaching here in New Jersey. So thank you, Dan.
Well, that's good, Andy. That's always a good way of looking at the weather. Your wet finger will kind of give you an idea. If it's really windy, then your finger turns cold.
There you go. See, who says you can't learn new things on Up to Speed here? Right. So Dan, the last few years have been absolutely incredible. When it comes to hurricanes season after season. But let's talk about 2020. Obviously, a year that we will never forget for many reasons. But just give us a review and remind our viewers what the major storms were last year.
Yeah, of course, last year was just unbelievable. It was the most active season on record. We had 30 storms. Of those named storms, we had 14 that were actually hurricanes. And of those hurricanes, we had seven major hurricanes. That's a record number. Those are the most ferocious hurricanes, 115 mile an hour or higher. We had storms like Laura, which blasted into southwest Louisiana, basically wiping out much of Lake Charles area. We also had Isaias move up the eastern seaboard like a windstorm. It caused massive power outages. Millions of people lost power from Isaias, even though it was a weakened hurricane. It still packed a powerful punch. Then we had Sally, which affected the Florida Panhandle. We also had Hannah, which also brought heavy rainfall to South Texas. So, and then we had two November hurricanes. One was almost a Category 5. Those really devastated Central America. But overall, we had 11 landfalls in the United States, and that brought destruction over a large area. And of course, Verizon was very busy trying to get communications back up and running.
It was definitely a year. Thank you, Dan, for giving us that recap. Can you tell us more about 2021 and what you're expecting and what you're tracking?
Yeah, so what we expect in 2021 is not quite as active as last year, 2020, but still an active season. We're expecting 16 to 20 storms. Of those named storms, we're expecting 6 to 10 to become hurricanes, and then maybe 3 to 5 of those ferocious major hurricanes. And Raquel and Andy, the real big issue we're facing this year is the water temperatures are warm. The upper level wind flow that comes down into the tropics is going to be weaker than normal. That really allows hurricanes to develop. And unfortunately, that means that we have a higher than normal chance for, again, maybe a Category 3 or higher, a major hurricane affecting the United States. The big story is the fact this is going to be a very active season.
Yeah, Dan, there's a lot to watch. And obviously, when you have an active season, we here at Verizon, we always say we run to a crisis. So, a big shout out to our network teams that make sure that families across the country, especially in those hurricane hit areas, are safe. I'm sure that our colleagues are ready at a moment's notice to respond. And certainly, Dan, your expertise and your background helps us tremendously here. So as we think about hurricane season, Dan, what can viewers do to get ready for this season, especially for our V-teamers who may be in those areas? Are there any steps that folks should take now before things happen to stay prepared?
Yeah, I think the first thing we have to assess, if you live near the coast or within 20 miles of the coast, what's your threat? Is your house or your business right near the coast that storm surge is going to be your biggest issue? Storm surge kills more people than anything else. The other issue is when those hurricanes come inland, they spawn tornadoes and cause massive wind damage. Maybe that's your threat. Or maybe you live a few blocks inland and maybe 20 miles inland where, heavy rainfall could cause massive flooding. Once you get once you understand what your threat is, then you create your hurricane plan. The biggest thing about a hurricane plan is know how you're going to react to the hurricane. In other words, if a hurricane's heading your way or even a pretty strong tropical storm, Well, how are you going to react to that? Where are you going to go if you have to evacuate? And when you do evacuate, what are you going to take with you? Another part of the plan is, how are you going to prepare your house or your business before the hurricane hits? Do you have to board up your windows? Do you have to bring in equipment that's laying around, like playground equipment or whatever? And then once you get that information, all that is secure, then what do you do as a person? How do you prepare that with your family? We always tell people to get a hurricane kit together so that if you have to evacuate, you have that hurricane kit with you. That includes enough water to last a few days, maybe as many as 3 to 5 days for everyone in the family, and also food as well. People think that the shelters have everything. They don't sometimes, and there's so many people that go to shelters. So you want to have food and water with you, and also take extra clothing with you as well if you do have to evacuate. If you have to evacuate, you can evacuate away from the coast to a friend's house or a relative's house many miles away. Then again, you're going to have that kit with you as well. The main point is, put yourself in a position so you're making decisions now. Don't wait until the storm is on the weather map. By then, everybody else looking for ways to deal with the storm. Another couple issues. Your pets. How are you going to deal with your pets if you live on a farm, or if you have a horse or some other animals? How are you going to deal with those? So again, there's preparations for those. And another thing too, many of us have friends and relatives that are physically disabled or mentally disabled. Those people, you need to figure out how you're going to deal with those. If they're placed under a watch or a warning and they're going to be in harm's way, deal with those first thing. Many times the people who are disabled we have to deal with those first thing, maybe 5 or 6 days before the hurricane hits, just to get them out of harm's way, get them into a more comfortable situation so they're not in the middle of all that disastrous situation.
Thanks,
Dan, thanks so much.
Definitely took a lot of mental notes there. That was really helpful. And now that we're speaking of safety and all the things we can do to keep prepared, I think it's a perfect time to intro Alexa, our solutions specialist. How are you doing, Alexa?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm really happy to be here with you guys and to have this opportunity to speak today. And yeah, that was a great intro from Dan. Thank you for all that information. It's really hits close to home for me because I'm in Florida, right on the East Coast. So for us, we can always take as much tips as possible. So what I have today here is just a couple of things that are kind of like just hurricane basics for like me and my family that can really help anybody that's needing these things. So one of them is a power pack, which is so important. So if you were to lose power in your area and you're not able to charge your devices, this is what you would have to help you. And it can charge your phones or your tablet or just anything that you could pretty much put a USB into. And it'll help to keep you connected, because you do want to stay connected in those times to either reach out to people if you need help, or just to let your friends and family know that you are okay. The second thing that I have is almost like the same thing, but it is for an iPhone. So this is the actual charging case itself. So hopefully your iPhone would already be charged for the most part, but this here is when it does lose battery, you can turn it on and it would continue to keep it charged and keep you connected. So these are two of the things that would be super important to have. And I definitely suggest that if you don't have one, to grab one and put it into your kit for the hurricane season.
Hey, Alexa, thanks so much for joining us. And of course, we're thinking of you during this season. As Dan mentioned, this could be a pretty serious one, but just,
Yes.
you know, you wear many hats there, of course, and I'm sure your loved ones are looking to you for thoughts and ideas on staying prepared, especially with tech. But talk to us about, you know, not only thinking about your own loved ones and your family and preparing yourself for these hurricanes, but being there for our customers, you know, having, you know, being part of the network. I know so many of us take pride in being a part of this team because of the network. Talk to us about how you feel about representing our company, especially when things can get pretty dicey.
I feel just extremely proud, to be honest. At every hurricane season, especially being on the East Coast, and the store that I work in, we're actually on an island, so like we're even more right there. People come in and they're scared, they're nervous. They might have been people that have like just switched over to us, and they may have been with a company that they just lost all communication, and they're just scared. They're just like, how are you guys during the hurricane season? What happens if we lose connection? What does Verizon do to help us? And we are just there to give them that reassurance that we are here to help you. In those times where we have those state of emergencies, Verizon typically helps out and gives everybody unlimited, so you wouldn't have to worry about data for those times that we're affected. And just basically being there to support them in whatever they might need from us.
Excellent, excellent. Alexa, thank you so much for that. And I'm so glad Raquel was here to bring in our live guests, because I clearly was not prepared outside. But Dan, as we think about it and conclude our conversation here, wanted to get your thoughts on this. I mean, you have seen quite a lot in your career, and you have seen what technology has done to help support those who are in need during this hurricane season. Talk to us about that evolution and what you've seen and where technology plays a role.
Yeah, technology is, of course, from a forecasting standpoint, technology has changed dramatically over the last. Well, I've been in weather for 44 years now, and what I see is better satellite technology. That not only helps us to look down on the earth and look at really good satellite imagery, but it also helps communications as well. Satellite technology has made our communications so much better. But more importantly is we have faster computers that allow us to take a lot of information in. The Hurricane Hunter aircraft, which fly into the storms, have much more sophisticated, much better equipment that allows them to sense the storms, and that information now is put into computer models. And this is the reason why track forecasts are so much better. We also have technology that also is working hand in hand with people as well. For example, a lot of times when a storm hits, we lose power, and the first thing people want is electricity. So now we have these portable generators that we can purchase, and they don't cost all that much money as much as they did years ago. The problem is people have to be very careful with this technology. We lost an awful lot of people last year because of carbon monoxide poisoning, just simply because they put those generators in the wrong spot, and the fumes from the engine got into their homes, and again they had issues with those. So again, another issue is with all the technology, when the power lines come down, some of them are still very, very active. So if you live in an area where the power lines are down, wait until the professionals get out there and give you the all clear that everything's fine. Another thing that I've seen also, Andy, is the fact that we have the ability to bring back communication so much faster now. It used to be that a hurricane would hit a certain area and you would be out of communication for days sometimes. Now it's just maybe an hour or two that we can bring these portable units and put up these units that can give us self-service right away. And Verizon is so good at creating that capability.
Thank you so much, Dan. Alexa, I'm wondering what your final thoughts are as we wrap up and make sure we're all informed for this hurricane season.
My biggest final thoughts, it ties back into what Dan said a little bit ago, actually, is when he said that, to the folks that are going to be in the hurricane areas for this season, is just don't wait to prepare yourself. Like, make sure you're prepared ahead of time. Get a hurricane kit if you don't have one, because it's so important, and you don't want to be home without one if something happens. Make sure that you pick up any portable chargers if you need it. Make sure you have food and water, because there are a lot of people who wait, and that might be for a lot of different reasons. But if you don't have to wait, please be prepared ahead of time, because when a disaster strikes, you don't have control over it. So we got to control what we can control.
Absolutely. Great advice there, Alexa. And I know you mentioned that your store is on an island, but you are never on an island on the V team, Alexa.
No.
And I wanted to make sure, I know you have a friend watching, and this is your GM, correct?
Yes, it is my GM. It is Umi, and he was so excited that we were going to be representing today.
All right, so big shout out to Umi, who's watching. We love that you're watching us. Thank you so much for supporting Up to Speed, and of course, a big thank you to Alexa and Dan as well. A wonderful conversation here. Hey, before we go, we want you to make sure and brush up on your 5G info. We're always thinking about ways to up our 5G game, our knowledge game, because Monday's show, next Monday, we've got a big 5G 101 quiz. We'll put your knowledge to the test. Hopefully Umi will be on, because Umi could win some prizes as well here. And hopefully we'll teach you something new. So you know when it's quiz time, there are prizes involved as well. So join us Monday for Up to Speed Live for that. And a big, big welcome to the V team goes out to our new Verizon Consumer Group Chief Operating Officer and Deputy CEO, Manon Brouillette. In this role, she'll be driving Verizon's market leadership in connected 5G experiences while continuing to transform VCG into a fully integrated technology company. Manon was recently president and CEO of Videotron, a Canadian telecommunications company that provides home broadband, pay television, and wireless communications. Named one of Canada's 100 most powerful women, she brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to our company now. Manon Brouillette, on behalf of all of us, welcome to the V team. And finally, Raquel, I believe the Up to Speed team is celebrating a birthday today, right?
I believe so. Our good friend Matt Fiedler, he is the secret weapon behind Up to Speed. If you didn't know, he's the one who's doing all the editing magic that makes Up to Speed look as seamless as it does. And as you can see here pictured in these fun photos, he's also a fan favorite on Up to Speed. He's been in many fun videos, and we are just so appreciative of him and his patience. I know I have sent him many cuts that he's had to put together for me and redo, and I just really appreciate Matt, and the team does as well. So happiest of birthdays, Matt.
Happy birthday, Matt. Indeed, you see there 5G Santa, great bass player, nosy neighbor. He plays all the great character actor for the Up to Speed team. And yes, everything that you see on this show, there's a good chance that Matt was a part of it. That said, we did not ask Matt to create his own birthday slide. We would never do that. As you can see, by the lackluster quality, that was me. Matt would have made it much nicer looking, but we hope you have a great day, my friend. Happy birthday, Matt. Hopefully, my wish for you is a Rangers playoff berth next year. So hopefully for next birthday, the Rangers will go after Lord Stanley's Cup there. So with that, a big thank you once again to Dan and Alexa and Raquel. Thank you so much for helping us host this Friday. This was fun.
Thank you so much, Andy, for having me, and everyone, Dan and Alexa, thank you. I learned so much. Being informed can save a life, so I'm definitely going to be sharing the learnings that I had with my friends and family. So
there it is.
Thank you.
And that's what it's all about, saving lives and being there for each other. And folks, that's all for now on this Friday. Thank you for watching. We hope you have a great non-hurricane weekend. Hopefully some better weather here in Jersey. We want to thank our guests, of course, and of course, thank you for watching. And a special Up to Speed thank you to everyone on the team for a fantastic week. And since it is looking a bit gloomy today, we're going to try to unjinx the weekend weather with a sign off from a V-teamer who did his best with the weather many of us experienced last weekend. So let's hope for some sunny days soon. But either way, make those days good ones. We will see you next week. Tyler, take it away.
This is Tyler Dunn with the Carolinas, Tennessee real estate team, caught in this beautiful North Carolina storm. Until next time, you're up to speed.